Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I am McKinley412, and today we're going to be looking at this 9-game main slate on DraftKings for Wednesday night, I believe it is. DK went weird. They have a 9-game slate, an 8-game slate, a 7-game slate, all covering the exact same games. All they did was just lop off the final game and just kept on doing it. So I don't know what's going on with DraftKings, but the 9-game main slate classic is what we're going to be focusing on. A lot of interesting options at pitching today, but before we get into that, like, subscribe, really does help us out. We also have a lot of other content going on at FSI right now. The NFL is starting up, so make sure you check out those videos. They're going to have coverage for all the major showdowns, so like the Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. So join the Discord. You get all the course for the main slates, showdowns on DraftKings. It's pretty incredible. We got soccer going on. Pretty much everything. We're hitting that time of year. Next month we got NHL, NBA starting up. Like everything is going to be happening at once. So we'd love to have you here at FSI. So hop on in. So let's dive into the slate here. Before we get started, make sure you check the weather, check COVID-related news, all that jazz. You guys know the game by now. So Freddie Peralta right up at the top, 10.2K. Now, Peralta is in a great spot going up against Philly. They can strike out a lot. However, Peralta, he got injured this time out in St. Louis. Last time out, he did not look like himself. They pulled him after only 53 pitches. So Milwaukee, they have the playoffs locked up. He's coming off an injury. He hasn't been himself. They're locked into the playoff spot. So are they going to give him like a long leash? Is he going to have a short leash? I don't know. And at 10.2K, I don't know if I really want to risk it. Like in GPP, absolutely go for it. But like in cash games, pretty much anytime throughout the season, he would have been like a lock and load. But I don't know. There's some concerns here, just like with the end of the season, saving his arm, coming off injury, all that stuff. So Peralta, great spot, but who knows what we're going to see here. McClanahan and EOVALDI facing off against each other. Tampa Bay versus Boston. Two decent pitchers, but also going up against two very good offenses. I think I lean EOVALDI over McClanahan. McClanahan's fine. He's been doing some nice stuff. He's striking out a lot of guys. You can see in his last start out, it was against Boston. He's striking out a lot of people. But still, he's not going very deep into games. 9.7K. I do prefer EOVALDI here. McClanahan also is a lefty. Going up against Boston, I don't like playing left-handed pitchers against Boston just with all of their right-handed bats and all the power that they do have. Guys like Renfroe, Kike Hernandez, J. Martinez, it goes on and on. EOVALDI, though, I do like him a little bit more. He's been doing very well as of late. He's $200 cheaper than McClanahan. Him, same thing. His strikeouts are way up. He's been doing really well. He's pitching deep in the game. So I do like EOVALDI a lot more in this spot. Darvish, I just had flashbacks to his last slate when it was just an implosion against the terrible Arizona Diamondbacks. It was just so frustrating. But hey, everybody else is on him. He's not been in good form here, as you guys can see. But he is going up against the Angels. We're seeing what Snell is doing against the Angels tonight, or last night, whenever you're watching this. The Angels, if they don't have Ohtani in their lineup, they didn't have Walsh, it was ugly. It was ugly. I think last I checked, they were in the 7th inning. Angels had 1 hit. That was it. So Darvish, he's definitely capable of getting back to his usual form here. I think he's probably going to be a popular pitcher, especially at 9.3K. Montas, fine pitcher, 9K, no problems with him. Gibson, not really too interested in Gibson. I'd rather go Montas or even just a little bit more to Darvish, or go down to Manoah. You kind of get into like the GPP range here. Manoah going up against the Yankees. He has the strikeout upside, but the Yankees have a good offense. Wainwright, don't really like playing guys against the Dodgers. Mitch White, No. Gutierrez, I think he's in a nice spot as well. He's kind of been like Darvish. He had a really nice stretch, and just past 2 games, his form just not there. But he's in a great matchup. So I'm not saying he's the same pitcher as Darvish, but he's in kind of a similar type role. He was in great form, pitching very well. Has had a couple of bad outings, but now is against a very bad, very weak lineup in the Cubs. Someone like him, K upside going up against Washington, fine if you land there. Gill and Minor, Gill's been the Cinderella story here. He's had 3 starts, no earned runs in any of them. He's got K upside as well, but Seattle, Baltimore, 2 weak offenses, went up against Boston, didn't do as well. So now he's got to go up against Toronto. This is probably going to be his toughest test so far on the season. GPP, go for it. I am probably not going to have really much of any Gill at all here today. But if you do land there and you really can't find any other salary to get up to like Tucson or Gutierrez, I don't know. I'd almost prefer Minor just in the much better matchup going up against Baltimore. Everyone else down here, I'm just fading. Not even going to talk too much about them just because I'm fading them. Looking towards the bats, top bats that I'm going to want to be focusing on today is Atlanta. For sure Atlanta, and it's going to be your main guys from Atlanta. It's going to be Freeman and Riley, Albies for sure. I was like, somehow I missed him. Soler still under 4K. I don't know how that's happening, but he's probably going to be a core play tomorrow or tonight, whenever you're watching this. But Soler still way too cheap. But yeah, really, Atlanta, they're going to be a top stack on the slate here. Next team I want to talk about is going to be Cincinnati, going up against Alec Mills. Mills, a right-hander, he can get blown up at times. So I'm going to be wanting to target a lot of the lefties there, guys like Votto, Winker on the IL. Still bummed about that. But down here, you can even go Naquin at 2.9K. He can provide some value for you. I don't know, Barnhart, 2.7K. He's a lefty. Yeah, he's a lefty. He might get the start, might not. It was Stevenson on Tuesday, so maybe Barnhart goes back out. You can kind of see they've been doing it every other day with those 2 guys, or not. So you can go with Barnhart, give you a nice little value there, and let's just see where we're at. If we just I'm kind of building on the fly here. So Peralta's got that possibly pitch count. I don't like McClanahan. He's fine. I just don't like the matchup for him. So maybe if you throw in EOVALDI, you're going to land at 5.3K remaining for the rest of your bats. More than capable of doing that. Throw in one of these bottom guys that I have interest in. You're looking at 4.5K. This is a nice spot. I like this slate. Easy, seems simple to build. So Atlanta, Cincinnati. Take a look at the LA pitching tomorrow. It says Ortega and Herget. If it is them, smash San Diego Padre bats for sure. But you can see up here, it says the Angels have yet to announce. If it is Ohtani, obviously the San Diego's not going to be as great of a stack. But still, if it is San Diego, or if it's not Ohtani, San Diego makes for great plays. I mean, you really can't go wrong with them. Like Cronenworth, nice lefty. Frazier, I think Frazier's just too cheap. Myers is too cheap. Hosmer's too cheap. I think they have a lot of cheap bats in their lineup for what they can do. And then after that, I would probably go to Oakland, going up against Keuchel. But Oakland, I think, is more of they're not going to be nearly as owned. So maybe if you want to go in a GPP route with them, you could do that there. So I think that's pretty much like the top bats that I want to be targeting. Atlanta, Cincinnati. I'm blanking. San Diego, if no Ohtani, and Oakland. Looking at GPP, you could be going with, or even not even GPP, but just like cheap bets. This Kansas City Baltimore game, 2 weaker pitchers. I like the KC side more here, but still, you really can't go wrong with either of these guys. Baltimore, looking at some of their guys, Hayes at 3.1K. He's He's too cheap going up against the left-handed pitcher there. He's been hitting the ball very well. So 3-1 is just far too cheap for him. And you kind of see, like, as I'm like, I haven't built yet. I'm just kind of building as I talk, and we have a lot of salary to work with. There's definitely value to be found on this slate and a lot of good options. But can't say Baltimore should be some nice runs there. If you really want to get crazy, go with a Philadelphia stack. I know it's Peralta, but like I said, if he's only going to be going 50 to 60 pitches, and then they get 6 innings of that Milwaukee bullpen, I don't know. It could be a nice leverage spot for you, because I guarantee nobody's going to be on Philadelphia tomorrow. So could be a nice leverage spot for you there. And then after that, Toronto, they could be a nice leverage spot as well. Maybe Gill and his game logs and the story behind him, gather some ownership. So maybe Toronto could be a nice pivot off the chalk there, be a little bit contrarian. And that's pretty much it. Everybody else, I'm not saying they're bad matchups, but it's not lines that I'm really targeting at this first look here. So that kind of covers everything. So as always, good luck in your contest. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.